What is up, everybody? It's me, Anthony, here to give you guys another movie review for a film that I was so excited to see. Here's The Munsters. So before I get into this review, let me just tell you guys, I have no prior knowledge to The Munsters. I knew of them. I knew it was an old show. I knew when I was like in high school or just out of high school, they attempted to do a remake on television. That didn't work out. And now we have Rob Zombie making a movie. And I'll get to why I'm confused if this is a movie or not, because I just watched this thing and I'm not really sure still. So some of the things that I don't really like in this film could be stuff that are in the show that, you know, that's what the show's about, you know. Maybe they're supposed to have weird edits and really awkward storytelling. Maybe that's what the show's about. So if you are a fan of the show, if you've seen it before, let me know in the comments down below. Just yell at me. Tell me I'm not getting this movie because it's a fateful reincarnation of the show. Let me know in the comments down below. But let's get into this. The Munsters. Okay. Where do I start with this film? Because I don't even think the film knows where it's supposed to be starting. And that's one of the things that I have a problem with this film, is because the editing is the #1 culprit here. It is so lightning fast and sporadic and random. It's just like they filmed a whole bunch of scenes and they threw them together. And I know that sounds kind of weird because you're like, hey, Anthony, that's a movie. That's what they do. But I don't know. The editing in this movie is just like, you know, we'll take that one scene. It doesn't make any sense. Just put it next to this one. People will figure it out. And it destroys any type of cohesion in this film, you know. I mean, the film isn't really that cohesive because of the story is, and we'll get into that later. But you'll literally have a storyline going and, you know, they're building up to that story and then they just randomly insert a certain scene that is part of a different story that's going on that you didn't even know was happening. And it feels like it's like midway through that storyline. The movie expects you to just know what is happening and just know these characters like if we've seen them before. And I feel like this movie is just for the fans of the Munsters, you know? And I don't know if there's a lot of people that are fans of the Munsters that watched it when its original run coming out is going to just, you know, have time to just watch this movie and say, hey, you know, I remember all that stuff. But I feel like when you're reintroducing people to this franchise, you know, to a new audience, you know, you kind of just have to just give us a little bit more backstory on these characters, backstories on the setting, backstories on the world. This movie doesn't do any of that. Like I said, it just throws you into the deep end and expects you to know how to swim. But before I go any deeper into my criticisms of this film, let's talk about the good stuff, okay? The costume design, top notch. I mean, this is really, really good stuff. They look like the people from the old original show, just a little bit modernized. And that to me is probably the most amazing thing about this movie. The score is also really, really good. I liked it. You know, I like the Munsters theme song. It's very catchy, you know, very Halloween-y and everything. It's fun. Also, the production design, some of the sets that they have in this film, again, top notch, just like the costume design and the makeup and all that stuff. Really cool stuff. But there is also a lot of scenes that utilize CGI, and it's not good CGI at all. You know, there's scenes where they're on a plane, it's total CGI plane, which I get, you know, it's a plane. That's a lot of money you gotta shell out to film people on an actual plane. But, you know, you didn't have to show us the plane at all. You know, don't show us the CGI nastiness. But they did, and when they did, it's CGI. There's also some other scenes in here that are just weird. You know, I don't know why they chose that type of scene. I don't know why. Again, maybe it's like something that had to do with the TV show, but I'm just coming into this as a person that doesn't really know anything about the Munsters. So, this is my impression of it. But with all the negatives that I'm saying about this film, you know, you would think at least, you know, something holds it together. The story is decent enough, right? Interesting enough. I mean, you have all these classic monsters in a different interpretation, you know, a comedic interpretation. You know, you have Frankenstein, you know, you have the bride of Frankenstein mixed with the Dracula's daughter, and then you have Dracula, and then you have the monster from the lagoon, you know, all doing weird, funny things, right? No, it's not funny. But I might take that back. The one funny thing in this film is that, you know, Frankenstein's character, his name's not even Frankenstein in here, but his character has the brain of this really, really bad comedian. and he makes really, really bad jokes, you know, worse than dad jokes. It was funny for a while, but after the 5th joke, and then the 10th joke, and then the 20th joke, wasn't funny anymore. I was like, no, can't do it. But that's the thing. The story of this movie isn't really one singular story. It feels like 2 stories combined. And it doesn't really even feel like a movie. Like I said in the beginning of this review, it feels like a TV show, and probably 2 episodes of a TV show mashed together. It feels like to me that Rob Zombie was going to initially make a TV series of the Munsters, a revitalization of that, and then the studio said, no, we want you to make a movie of it. So combine those 2 episodes that you shot into one. And like I said, it's not really a good seamless transition between the 2 episodes. So I feel like I missed something. Because when the movie starts, it feels like we missed a certain plot point that led up to the scene the first scene that we're seeing in the film. And then when it transitions to the second half of the film, again, it feels like we missed a big chunk between the transition of the first thing that we saw until the end. It's a shame. Like I said, I like the costume design. Everybody that's acting is doing a good job. It feels like and looks like the original from what I have seen, but it just feels very empty at the same time. Nothing is really holding it together. So overall, guys, I think that the Munsters 2022 remake is not good. It's very lifeless. Funny there, right? You know, monsters, you know, they're dead. I'm learning from the jokes in this movie. The editing is all over the place, very chaotic. The story is bland, and it feels like it's missing a lot of parts to it. And it's just plain boring at times. I can't tell you how many times I was just like looking at my phone, it's like, when is this over? But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm particularly interested in those of you that like the Munsters, have seen the series, all of them. I don't know if there's movies out there, you know, old movies. I know there's an old show, and like I said, there's a remake attempt early on in my lifetime. But let me know if you are a fan of the Munsters. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Also, guys, don't forget to check out my Twitter so you can stay up to date with my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, guys, keep watching movies.